Hi, it's me, Jennifer, with Media Over, and today I'm here with Jared.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be talking about Attack on Titan, Season 1, so prepare for lots of spoilers.
Personally, I've never seen it, but video's sake, it'll be me just being a noob. So let's do this.
Alright, so when you start the first episode, it's just, the city's on fire, the main character, Eren, is like being hauled away by someone, you're like, what the heck is going on?
Like most series,
Yeah, because you're like,
people like to just toss you right into the action. The only time I've ever seen like anything that actually gave you an introduction was My Hero Academia.
that's true.
Look at Star Wars, for example, just toss you right in the action.
But yeah, so you had like no idea what's going on, why the city's on fire, and just like, today's the day we found out that humanity just can't cattle, and it's like, what? And then it goes into the whole intro, and you just are like, I hope they tell me what's going on, because I really have no idea.
Well, they better.
Yep. And so after the intro, you find out that they've been lit 100 years ago. These giant monsters called Titans that like to eat people showed up. No one has any idea where they came from, and couldn't really stop them. So to survive, humanity built these giant walls, like 50 feet high, I think, and they've just been hiding behind them for 100 years. And Aaron's, was born and raised in one of the cities behind the walls, and it's just like disgruntled with his life because he feels like, humanity's become too complacent and it's like not actually trying to win back the outside world. They're just all stuck behind the walls.
So it's either so they're trying to survive by basically hiding behind the Great Wall of China, more or less.
Yeah, and they've been surviving for 100 years like that.
And he wants to go take the world back.
Pretty much. Oh.
What were they hiding from?
The Titans.
Okay.
The giant man-eating monsters that will literally just scoop people up and chomp on them.
Okay, so the series Attack on Titan is they're going to go attack the Titans.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm on board.
And so, they're all disgruntled. Kind of the guards at the walls are kind of a joke. They just spend their time drinking and playing cards because, for the last 100 years, no Titan has ever been able to do anything more than, scratch at the wall. And Aaron's really frustrated because he's like, you're supposed to be serious people, but you're just all drunkards. And it's like, but they're like, there's nothing to worry about. And then this giant Titan just shows up, like he's taller than the wall, which had never been heard of before.
Okay, build the wall higher. Let's go.
The problem is after 100 years, no one knows how they were built anymore. You learn more about that later. But, yeah.
So it's not just a wall.
Yeah, you'll find out in the second season. But, yeah, so the Colossal Titan shows up, and they're, just all shocked because they can actually see him over the top of the wall, and he just kicks the gate open, busts this huge hole, and everyone's panicking.
If nobody's looking outside the wall, why is there a gate?
Because there is a scout regiment, which is a group of the army that is going out and fighting the Titans, but no one really respects them because they consider it just like a suicide group because the majority of them rarely make it back. But Eren,
Sounds like my type of group of people.
Yeah, but Eren, the main character, aspires to be one of them because he wants to stop the Titans and stuff. And so, yeah, so the Titans bust in, they start coming in, people are running to escape and are all panicking, and Eren sees that his house got destroyed and runs back with one of his friends, this girl that's basically, I forget how to pronounce her name.
Well, it's Japanese, I presume, so.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I know it's like Mikasa or something.
And just so you know, I just barely started studying Japanese, and I still don't know how to pronounce anything at all, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mikasa. Anyway, so and he's basically like an adopted sister type thing. And so they run back, find the mom trapped underneath rubble, and he's determined to save her, even though she's like, just leave me. There's no point. I would never be able to escape because my legs are crushed. But he's like, no, we're gonna make a stand. And it's like, too late.
So Superman, it lift him.
Oh, he's trying hard, but there's a Titan coming closer to them. And then one of the guard guys that Eren had actually been making fun of earlier and like, saying that you shouldn't be drinking all that, and comes and is like, I'm here to help you. And at first it seems like he's gonna go fight the Titan, but then he just freezes and it's like, I can't do this. Turns, grabs Eren and Mikasa and just bucks it, and Eren's just like, no, you're supposed to be one of the fighters. You're supposed to fight these monsters. But no, they split. The Titan comes and chomps Eren's mom, and it's all super tragic.
Sounds like it. So, characters die.
Pretty much. Characters will die a lot.
Game of Thrones style. Cool.
Yeah, learn not to get attached to anyone. So, like, everyone flees to the next wall, and kind of next episode or two is kind of a synopsis of what happens, of how all the refugees are kind of like starving behind these walls, and they try and farm, but apparently the ground's a wasteland and nothing is growing, and so all like able-bodied adults end up sent back to the old walls to reclaim it, but everyone knows they're just being sent to die, which the majority of them do. I think there's like 200,000 go out, 200 come back, and it's like, and so more food for everyone else, which is the only bright spot type thing.
Ugh.
And like Eren and Misaka's best friend, Eren, I think or Armin. It's Armin. His father, I think, went out and was one of those that died in that, and so they all make a vow to become cadets so they can get back at the Titans that, took everything from them type thing. And so you go to where they're cadets and training and learning how to fight, and Eren's, like super determined to do everything, and you start meeting other cadets and starting to like people, which was a big mistake on my part. Starting to like more people. Because
don't like anyone in media, they'll just kill them off.
Pretty much, yeah. Like 75% of the people you see on screen are going to be killed at some point.
I'm sorry, Sean Bean, but...
Yeah.
Luke. I'm still not getting over Luke or Han.
Yeah, so they spend like 5 years, or I guess it's 5 years since the original attack of Colossal, and they were like training for 3 years, and it's like the eve of the graduation, they're all talking about what career they're gonna go to, and Eren's against, like, I'm gonna be the scouts, I'm gonna go attack the Titans, and they're like, and some of the other cadets are like, sure, whatever, I'm planning to go on a nice cushy job on the interior, guarding the royal people or whatever. And so they're just, all having excited to finally be moving on with their lives and thinking, what about the future, when suddenly the Colossal Titan is back.
Because he's back.
Yep, he just shows
back
up.
Again.
And like
Tell your friends.
Eren and the other cadets are on top of the wall when he shows up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, he's back!" And Eren tries to attack him because he's like, "This is it. This is my chance to get back at."
Question: can the Titans talk?
Not that you know of right away.
Okay.
For the most, you learn later that some of them can, but for the longest time, you have no idea that they can talk. And they just...
I'm just kind of curious, can you actually threaten a Titan and will they respond?
Well, that's the thing. Like, there have been several like, when they were doing the training, they talked about what they knew about Titans, and as far as they could tell, they weren't intelligent. At least the majority of them aren't intelligent. But, yeah.
Okay, so they're just bloodthirsty beings. Pretty
much. And so Eren tries to attack the Titan, but then it just disappears in a cloud of mist, and he's like, what the heck? But the Colossal was still able to bust open a wall, and so they started evacuating, and the cadets all got pulled into a briefing about where they're going to be and where they're going to attack. And so Eren and Armin and their squad are like supposed to be like a support group helping with the evacuation. And while they're out there, one of their friends gets attacked by what's called an abnormal titan, which means a titan that does stuff outside the norm of what normal behavior is. And yeah, he just gets chomped and it's like, oh my gosh, and before you have time to really process what's going on, Eren goes off to attack him. And so you think Eren is going to be safe, because he's the main character. You see him on like all the posters or everything. Nope. Before he even gets near that one time, another one comes up and bites off his leg and you're like, oh my gosh! It just blows your mind. Because like I said, and then like it's just a slaughter after that. All of them are being killed, and like I said, this is the point where I learned not to like anybody. Like, don't get attached at all. It's just terrible.
That's the struggle for me because I get attached to the characters too easily. So
I know, it's like that was my problem. I got attached to all of the people on his team, even though you only.
So there've been a handful of characters I haven't been able to get attached to just because I hate them so much. But
I know, so it's like the three main characters, Misaka, Eren, and Armin are so far the only ones you should really be attached to. Even though Eren, like I said, just had his leg chopped off, and then when Armin's about to be eaten, Eren manages to swoop in and pull him out of the Titan's throat at the last minute, but ends up getting chopped himself, and like his arm just was left outside the mouth, and so you just see it fall to the ground. And you're like, oh my gosh, he just got eaten.
Sounds gruesome.
It really is gruesome. It's
How bloody is this?
Pretty bloody. Like there's a reason why.
Okay, so mature content.
Yeah, it's pretty mature, and like I said, it's gruesome. You see people get eaten, and like his mom was eaten right in half. So you saw her.
Okay. So just kind of like. Okay, so saying like My Hero Academia is for teenagers, this is for adults.
Yes, very much so. And they do tend to curse a lot, but considering that they see people get chomped all around them, I don't really blame them.
Because the videos we make are kind of like they're advertisings, but we gotta know which crowd is it for, so.
Yeah. Like I said, it's really intense, not for the faint of heart at all.
Sorry if you hear it clicking sound, it's my dog making noises.
Marley.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she's in the video now. Congratulations.
Anyway, so you're just like intense, and Armin is just like in shock because he just saw everyone on his team get eaten, and you are kind of in shock along with him because it's just like everyone just got chopped, and Misaka, who is like again, Eren's adopted sister, has like made this vow.
So do they actually call each other like brother or sister, or is it just kind of like their relationship?
It's just kind of like the relationship, though. Later on, they're hinting that that everyone assumes that Misaka has a crush on Eren, and she denies it, but it's hard to tell if it's true or not.
Yeah, eventually probably will.
Probably. But, like, she's made this vow that she has to protect Eren at all costs, and, like, life's not worth living if he's not in the world.
Okay, so there is some type of love there.
Yeah.
May not be romantic, but maybe more familial. But,
yeah.
Okay.
So when she finds Armin and learns that, like, no one's left, and because he's just kind of babbling about how everyone's dead, and, and so she kind of... and like is like devastated by that, and like a lot of people are trapped behind the walls because their equipment uses gas to propel them through the air, so a lot of like other scouts and soldiers haven't been able to escape after everyone was evacuated because they're supposed to go up over the walls, and the supply depot is surrounded by titans and stuff. And so that no one can get in and get the things they need. So she ends up leading motivating everyone to go attack the Titans, and because she is like a super Titan killer, like she is the elite, like she's already considered a full-fledged soldier almost, even though she just graduated from the cadets. And so she, leads the charge, but since she, she's kind of suicidal at this point. She has no regard for her own safety, is not being smart about conserving the remaining gas she has, and almost ends up trapped and almost gets eaten until this giant Titan comes out of nowhere and attacks the one that was about to eat her. And she's just like, what the heck?
So Titans attack each other. They just attack whatever, basically.
More like just this one Titan is attacking everyone else, and they're like, what the heck is what this guy? It's like, it makes no sense. And so, but she and Armin get the idea of luring this Titan that's attacking everyone else to the supply depot so he can take out all the ones outside while they all go inside. And it works. He's like just taking them out. And so they get in the supply depot and they have to come up with this strategy to kill off all the ones that are inside. And they all are able to refuel. And as they're about to make their escape, they see the one Titan that was attacking everyone being eaten by the others, and they're like, that's really weird. It's like, should we help this guy, considering that he attacked all the other ones? Maybe we can use him as a weapon.
The enemy of my enemy's my friend type scenario.
Exactly, but they're all arguing about that because the others are like, why would should we save a Titan? Let's just let them kill each other and all that. But...
well, personally, I would probably just try to... if you can get a Titan on your side, especially
exactly
how powerful they're made out to be, that'll be good. If not, you're going to die anyway, and he's going to attack everybody else, so let's just see what happens.
That's kind of like Misaka's and Armin's logic, and so they...
what do you have left to lose?
Exactly. They prepare to save him, but then, he has, the Titan has the second win and is able to take out the last few that are around him before he collapses, and they're like, well... no point about arguing, I guess, since it seems like he's dying. But out of the Titan's corpse comes Eren. He's completely fine, and the arms and leg that got bit off regenerated. And they're like, what the heck happened?
She's a Titan too?
He is, Eren.
Oh, sorry.
The main character. But yeah, so they're like, what the... and so, and then in the next episode, it's kind of from Eren's point of view. He just woke up and it's like, what is really confused about what's going on because a bunch of senior soldiers all have guns and cannons pointed at him, and because he has very little memory of what he did as a Titan type thing. So he's just is like.
So people turn into Titans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well. As far as, at first, Eren's the only one that's ever done this, but they're, questioning whether or not they can trust Eren since everyone saw him come out of a Titan. It's like, are you a spy? Are you human or Titan or something?
Well, there's so little we know about Titans that we thought we knew.
Yeah, it's like...
so we gotta question everything now.
And... Eren's like, I'm human. It's like, I've always been on your side. I don't know what's going on, but the soldiers don't...
it's like Superman. It's like, I don't know why I'm human, but I can shoot lasers out of my eyes.
Exactly. And so he's like...
no way, I'm an alien. Never mind.
but the soldiers are, too freaked out, and the commander, opens fire on them, and Eren, in his, desire to protect his friends, some hidden memories that had been locked away start coming to the surface, and he instinctively knows how to transform into Titan just long enough to protect them. And so it's so you see this half-formed Titan corpse that was only strong enough to protect them from the cannons, and Eren comes out and starts talking to his friends who are in the rib cage of this Titan carcass, and it's really weird. And it's the other those soldiers are waiting for the steam to clear to find out if they should fight or not. And so Armin, Misaka, and Eren are all talking about what they should do. And Eren comes up with two ideas. Either I turn Titan and fight and we make a break for it, or Armin, you talk the soldiers down. It's you are the greatest strategist ever. If anyone can get them to see get us out of the situation. It's you. And Armin just gets like a huge boost because like this whole time he thought that the friends were just, thought they always had to protect him and that he wasn't on their level. But like this made him realize that they actually do care about and respect him.
So they saw him as a weak one that they had to take care of, and now.
Well, that's what he thought they saw him as, but then he realized that they never saw him that way.
Okay.
Yeah, he was always had low self-esteem.
And this is how many episodes like each one is. So.
At this point, let's see. I think. Let's see. I think it's only like episode 7 at this point.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an idea how like things are paced out.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 8 then.
Or no, I guess actually it's episode 9.
Okay, episode 10 then.
Yeah. So, so Armin is able to talk the way down. Almost, actually. They almost failed until the higher commander comes in and, it's like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I can tell he's a loyal soldier by his, heartfelt salute. And so we're going to hear him out. And so, so the commander, talks to Eren and kind of learns what Eren knows, which isn't much. And like they have this idea of how to win back the city they just lost by having Eren turn into a Titan to move this giant boulder and move it over to block the hole that all the Titans are coming through.
Yeah, okay.
And so a lot of people are doubtful that this will work, and Eren is like, it's like his one shot of staying alive at this point, and so plans are made. They go for it, and, they lure all the other Titans to this one part of the city while Eren and the others sneak around to the boulder. And when Eren transforms, he doesn't pick up the boulder. Instead, he starts attacking Misaka. Or Mikasa. I believe that's her name. And she's like...
Try to correct us in the comments down below.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Anyway, so she's like just trying to talk him out of it, but it's not working. And their fighting ends up drawing another Titan to them, and Eren manages to... The soldiers manage to kill the Titan, but Eren gets knocked out, and the Titan Eren gets knocked out in the process. And they're like, well, now what are we going to do? And in the meantime, Armin's like, what's taking so long? What's going on? And so he goes around, finds Eren in his Titan form, like, knocked out and slumped against the boulder. And it's like, we don't know what to do. It's like, the soldiers are protecting Eren because they know that he's still a valuable resource. It's just like, but a lot of them are like feeling like this is pointless. Why are we doing this? But Armin is able to jumps on Eren's neck and stabs him in it to get his attention, and just like starts yelling at him. It's like, why are you? And he's remember why you fight, and it's like, and he's able to get through, and so Eren gets up and picks up the boulder, and and so lots of fighting Titans there as Eren makes his way through the city and is able to finally place the boulder back, and as soon as it's done, he transforms back into a human. And they almost get killed by more Titans that were there when one of the leader of the scouts comes in at the last moment and saves them, because the scouts had received word beforehand that the wall had been breached by the claw, so they were coming back to help. And he's like, and as soon as he kills the one Titan, he's like, someone better tell me what's going on right now.
Because everybody's confused. Even I'm confused. This video I'm in college trying to explain Attack on Titan season 1 to someone.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a lot goes on all at once, and there's very little time to actually process it before they start doing the next thing. And so, after that, Eren is arrested and thrown into a dungeon.
On what charges?
For being a Titan, and so, like...
That's a lie, you can't be a Titan?
Apparently. Well, considering Titans are their enemies. And so, like, and people are just, like, panicking about it, because everything they know is brought into question, and, everyone just sees him as a monster, and so it's a huge debate on whether he should live or not. And some people are, like, already starting to worship him as their savior entire thing. It's, like, we're all ridiculous. And you got the other people who don't want him being worshipped because that makes them lose power over the people type thing. And all sorts of stuff in play at this point.
What does Eren want?
Oh, he wants to kill all the Titans. Like, that's his main goal, is just kill all the Titans for what they did to his mom.
Simple, good.
Yeah, he's like, I will kill them all.
I approve.
Yeah. Like, that's his biggest goal, is he just wants to kill all the Titans. Sometimes it's for good motivations, free, liberate humanity. Other times it's just because he wants revenge for the death of his mom and all his close comrades that just got chomped.
All the people you got attached to earlier.
Exactly. And so during the trial, it's decided that he will go with the scouts because they say they have an idea of how to use them to help take back Wall Maria, which was which was the first wall from 5 years ago that got destroyed.
Okay.
Type thing. So he is, given the title of scout, even though he was just a cadet. It's just no one, officially he's part of the scouts, but no one really considers him a scout yet because he hasn't earned it. But
it's the title.
Yeah. It's
a title versus the right, I guess.
So he's sent with the scouts. He spends a little time trying to figure out his Titan form, which he's not very successful at all. But he's also trying to learn to respect his fellow scouts. And again, I make the bad decision of getting attached to a lot of the scout people.
Well, I just feel like at this point you may expect them to be they're gonna die. By the way, before you continue, I just want to say I apologize if I mumble during any of it. My dog is being her. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like you think that these, especially because the group that Eren's now with is like the elite of the elite, the scouts. So you think if anyone's gonna survive, it's them because they've been surviving for so long. But
all 3 die.
Well, there's more than 3. I think there's like 7 with them at this point. But so you hang out with a little bit them for a while. You get to know them, get attached to them, which is something you regret pretty quickly. Anyway, so they are like that for a few months while they're planning this big mission that they're doing. And so they start this mission, and everyone's like thinks it's a little weird because it seems like, what they're telling people doesn't match up with what it seems like it really is about. But since the majority of the people don't know what it's about, they just have to go with it.
Quick question. Okay, so is the land inside of the wall versus outside completely different? Like, is the outside completely barren because it's been destroyed by Titans versus?
No, that's an interesting thing about Titans that you learn pretty early on is that Titans don't really destroy nature or even eat animals. They only like to eat humans. Okay. Though they don't need to eat humans to live. Like, they survived 100 years outside the wall without any humans to chomp on.
When the scouts go out to go?
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't be nearly enough for all the Titans that are out there, and yet they're completely fine, and so.
Okay.
And so it's like, the Titans just eat, are just in it for the kill type thing. It's like, just crazy, And so, so like the land outside of the walls for the most part is actually really nice. There's trees everywhere. They're riding through this big field when they're on their mission. And it's just like actually really nice. It's like you can see why they want to get the land back. But so while they're doing this mission, they're Titans are coming, but they're expecting that, so they're dealing with them as they can. But then this one female Titan just shows up out of nowhere, and before this point, like all of them have been male as far as they can tell, and she's
but she's clearly female.
Yeah, clearly female, and she just shows up and has like muscles exposure and all that, and she just shows up out of nowhere and just like is charging, ignoring all the scouts for the most part, just charging straight towards like the center of it, and they're like, what the heck is going on with her? And as they try and take her out, she like actually covers up her weak point, because like the only weak point in Titans is this spot in the back of the neck that everyone has to like slice through in order to kill a Titan. And so they're like, but she's like covering it up, and like if anyone tries to use their wires to get higher, she grabs it and just swings them into the ground and splats them. And so they're like, she's not following instinct, she's actually intelligent. It's like, she's not just, an animal, she's a murderer, because she's actually thinking about what she's doing. And so Armin's like on the group that first runs into her, and he's just, one figuring out that she's actually thinking, and it's like that she has a goal in mind, and he's like, she's after Eren. It's like, I don't know why, but I know that's what she's after. And so
instinct.
Yeah. And so, he tries to stop her, or tries to get away to Borneo people, but they don't really stand a chance against her. Because it also turns out she can harden her skin, so it just breaks the blades when they try and,
anime style.
Yeah. And so she's able to eventually, get past them and like she's just getting to where Eren is, leaving a blood trail along the way. It's like, just the majority are just being taken out. It's like, what's the point of liking anybody at this point?
Everybody's gonna die.
Yeah. And like at this point, everyone's questioning if why are they still going through with this mission, considering everyone's just getting slaughtered by this female Titan.
Can there actually be a happy ending in the show, do you think?
I hope so. It seems like they're figuring out more about what's going on later in the seasons, but there's still probably going to be a lot of death and carnage before the end of the show. Like I said, don't get attached to anybody, they all die. At least that's a lot from my experience.
I just kind of hate when you have like one character, you want that one character to have a happy ending, but they won't give that one character a happy ending. I don't care who you kill on the way, but don't let that one person die.
Yeah. So eventually the female Titan catches up to Eren and the scouts that are, supposed to be protecting him. And he's like, let me transform and, fight her, because the people that are, coming up from behind to help support them are just being wiped out one by one. And he's like, I don't want all these people dying for me. But the leader of the scouts like, you have a choice. You can do this alone, or you can trust the people that you're with. And Eren is like,
do it alone.
He actually considers it, but in the end he's like, I trust you guys, because he has been hanging out with them for a month.
I trust you guys, but I'm doing it alone.
And so they keep riding and riding and riding, and it turns out they were leading this female Titan into a trap, and they are to like harpoon her like crazy, so she just gets caught in this. And they're like, now we can figure out who she is, because after witnessing Eren's transformation, people figured out that there must be an actual Titan spy somewhere in their ranks.
And people think it's a female Titan.
Well, now they definitely think she's a part of it.
She absolutely part of that mystery.
Exactly. And so they're like, now we can figure out who you are. And so, so they, have her secure for a while, and they, get prepared to cut the human out of this Titan body. But before they do, female Titan lets out this screech that like calls all the other more animalistic Titans to come, and they just start eating her. And it's like, no, it's like not. It's like all this effort to capture her, we're losing her. But there's like nothing they can do, and she gets eaten. And so like, oh well, now what do we do? It's like now we have nothing to show for all the hard work and sacrifice. But one of the commanders is like, we saw the Titan bite get eaten, but did we see the human one get eaten as well? Because until we do, I don't think she's gone.
Well, then on the other hand, I'm just thinking, it's like, well, if you think she's a spy, just see who's missing.
Yeah. Yeah, but
that's how you find an answer.
But they're like, and in the meantime, Eren and the other scouts had been, flying away with their equipment, and and they thought they were fine, but then this, mysterious hooded figure in that one of their uniforms starts chasing after them, and you just know it's the female Titan. And she just starts like taking them all out one by one, because they're like, wait, are we being attacked by another human? They're like, oh, I guess, and they, are just not prepared for that kind of thing after fighting Titans for so long. So everyone in the elite scout group, except for Eren and the commander guy, because he was still back where the female Titan was originally captured, are just being wiped out one by one. And you're like, no! It's like, I just got attached to more people, and now they're all gone. And so they were just, like I said, they're all getting wiped out, and it's really sad because I really did like some of them, especially this one girl was really sweet, and just all got wiped out. Brutally, of course, too.
Maybe after we do this video, we should make one on top 10 characters I wish wouldn't have died from Attack on Titan Season 1.
Yeah, I'll have to go through. Great, I'll have to go through and it's like, these people, I'm so sad they died. Anyway, so it ends up being Eren's like the last one, of course, because everyone else gets killed brutally again.
He's the main character. He can't possibly die.
So, in his anger, he transforms, and they start battling it out, and she transforms back into a Titan as well, and so you got two Titan people just going at it with each other. It's so intense. And while Eren does get in a few good hits, he's not nearly as used to fighting as a Titan as this girl is. And she's able to, tear off his arms and
his Titan arms, or
his Titan arms, and basically leave him defenseless, and chomps into the back of the neck to get at Eren's real body, and just kind of has him in his mouth, him in her mouth, and she just starts taking off through the trees. And then Sokka, or what's her name? I don't remember how to pronounce her name anymore. Miss Misaka, that's right. We
should probably just come up with a nickname for some of these characters.
Yeah. Sokka, no. Anyway,
Girl Sokka.
Anyway, she gets, she gets the feeling that Eren's in trouble, especially when they had heard the Titan roars and saw the transformation light stuff, and so she had taken off and knew that, had witnessed most of the fight and knew he was still alive, and she was like determined to get him back. And the commander of the scouts shows up soon after, and he's like, our goal can't be to take her out this Titan, because we, she's way out of our league, even mine, since I'm. And he is really awesome. Like, he is an awesome fighter. And so when he says that we can't take him out, he's being serious. And so, like, he starts, just chipping away at this female Titan and, like, incapacitates her and, like chops off so much stuff of her arms that they just go limp, and then, like, slices her jaw muscles and to reveal Eren, who is, passed out in her mouth, and Sokka goes in, swoops in, saves him, and they, take off back to the main group. And it's just, really intense, and so it's like, so they have to at that point consider the mission a failure and head back in. and they know that since the mission was a failure, that Eren is gonna be arrested and taken away from the scouts again and possibly executed. And it's like,
But the scouts is like a formal military unit. Can they speak on his behalf?
oh, they will. They plan to, but since they have nothing to show for their attempt so far, and they have
so their word means nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, even though the scouts, I consider them like the most important group of the whole series, they get very little respect from the other groups because they're, again, considered suicidal. Like, they're like the hopeless mission people.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they are heading back to the main city, trying to figure out what they're gonna do, and it like kind of cuts to some of the people on the inside of the wall, and as they're hearing the news that they're coming back early, it's like, oh, that can't be good. Oh, and one more thing is, like, on their way back, they almost get overrun by Titans again, and they all have to make a run for it. It's like, because of course.
And they're always dying.
And they lose more people in the process of running, and it's like, it's mostly because two people were an idiot because they had seen their friend die and wanted to retrieve his body, and in the process they managed to retrieve it, but it attracted other Titans' attention and got, it's kind of set off this whole chase, and one of them ends up dying anyway, trying to take it down, and it's just like, it's a huge mess. But so they eventually get back to the city. Eren, as far as you can know, is being taken to court, but then it turns out that Armin and Misaka are planning to like escape with the help of like they have like a body double in the carriage that's being taken to the courtroom, and they enlist this help of one of their former cadet friends who was now part of the interior people, and then as they're talking, it turns out it's actually a trap for this girl because they suspect that she's the female Titan, and then it's confirmed, and she just transforms and just starts killing everyone that was trying to trap her. And
so I assume at this point Eren would probably take his Titan form.
Oh, he tries to at first, but he's like, it's really weird. He for the longest time during this, like, he's not very consistent on when he's able to transform, because it's a combination of her biting his hand to, like, I don't know why he has to bite his hand, but apparently he has to bite his hand.
Is a Hulk to get himself angry? He has to bite himself?
Yeah, he causes, like, enough to draw blood, usually, and he has to have a clear goal in mind and have to be, like, emotionally prepared to turn into a Titan. Either, like, super angry enough or, feel like he needs to, because, after any...
So how did he bite his hand the first time to trigger that?
Well, the first time he transformed, I'm not exactly sure if he bit his hand, but later when he was, cornered by the police and the memory started unlocking, he just knew that he had to bite his hand. He's not sure why he knows. And, like, another big secret part of the memories unlocking is that he knows that his father is the one that turned him into a Titan in the first place, that gave him this ability, and that there's some secret to the Titans in the cellar of their old house. So that's, like, a big reason to why they need to take back Walmart, is to find out this big secret. And it's going to be a long time before we ever find out at this point. But...
Okay.
But anyway, so back to this female Titan attacking, just destroying buildings already, and those that were trying to capture. And Eren's trying to transform, but because, like, there's a part of him that doesn't want to believe that this girl that, they had been cadets with, was a good friend. The problem that doesn't want to believe that she betrayed them all and is responsible for the death, and so that he's not able to transform for a while. so because of that, and so the others have to be like, get over it, accept the fact that she's a traitor, and remember all these deaths, they are because of her. And eventually it works. After he gets almost crushed by a bunch of rubble.
He's like, well, it's just the argument. He's like, she killed off so many of your friends already. Good point.
Yeah, I know, but it's like he had to be nearly crushed by the collapsing wall and just be lying in the rubble for a little bit before he finally comes to his senses and transforms.
Somebody needs to slap him.
I know. And anyway, so they start duking it out, and it's just devastating because they just, they two giant Titans, they just crush buildings underneath their fight, and so it's like, people are like just dying left and right because of their battle, and she still has kind of advantage over him.
Oh, experience, I guess.
Yeah, she has experience, and she's desperate. She has nothing to lose at this point, type of thing. So she's just nothing to hold her back, and so she's just going all out.
Okay.
And she's more used to, thinking logically, whereas Eren still tends to just be mostly instinctual in his Titan form at this point. And so they are duking it out. It's just pretty cool and epic, but again, very devastating to the city that they're in. And a lot of, the police people are like, military police that, and citizens are like, oh, that's Titans, because they've never seen one these far in. And they're like, the military police are like questioning the scouts. It's like, why do you consider all these deaths worth this fight? And it's like they would.
Well, the female one would probably kill them all anyway. So.
Would have, most likely. And that's kind of their logic is having this spy in our midst would have been the death of us all anyway. It's better that we know and can root her out and question her. So eventually, Eren wins the fight, though he almost eats her at one point during the end. But he comes, his human consciousness serves just enough that he doesn't actually eat her. But right before they can extract her, she hardens she encases her human body in the hard, kind of crystal substance that her Titan form could produce, type thing. So now she's just in this cocoon of diamonds basically, and they're like, oh great, all this death and destruction, and we can't even question her. It's like they can't break through it either. It's like
better start trying.
Yeah, so it's like. Oh, great. And that's pretty much where season 1 ends, is with they captured her, but now there's all this death and destruction and very little to show for it because they can't question her. And Eren's just going to be arrested again and possibly killed again. Happens a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much the season 1 of Titans.
Okay. I'm still completely confused. Maybe I will just watch the series myself.
It's hard to explain because a lot happens. There's a lot going on. So much death and destruction. Don't get attached to anyone.
Okay, Game of Thrones scenario. But we'll call it there. We're approaching about 50 minutes of video on this one. So
wow.
Yeah. Well, it's an entire season of a TV show.
Yeah.
This is still so much shorter than the show itself.
I know, and I forgot to even mention how at one point they captured 2 Titans to study, but then someone killed them off, and they were mad about that.
Okay, so remember to comment, subscribe, and write down some other animes that you guys like to enjoy down below. In the description, I'll put some links to some other videos that you may enjoy. Other anime stuff. So I guess we'll see y'all later.
Yep. Because I'm always looking to watch, and even though, like I said, Attack on Titan's really bloody, it's a great show, and you should check it out if you can stomach it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.